comics are stupid.
No Harry Potter movie is good.
And you're like, give me the Snyder Cut. Oh, sorry. Just walk in front of you here. Gonna put my popcorn down. Oh, sorry. Gotta put this here.
Universal needs to sue Sony.
Hey, I'm an idiot. I was fired from Fox. Let me go.
I'd like actually to see Venom just crush Spider-Man.
It's strange.
There, I think the recording's working.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, now it's working. Okay.
Awesome.
So yeah, we're back.
Yay.
And super inconsistent as ever, but you know, don't worry. 2021, new year. Wait, that's the next one, right? Yes, 2021. That's next year. New year. You know, I'm trying to think. Will this be the last podcast of the year, or will we try to do another one before the end of the year? Where we do our kind of.
I think we can pull one up before the end of the year for sure.
Because then we can do our top, like we can kind of rank the movies of 2020.
Mm-hmm. There hasn't been a lot of 2020 movies, but we can still rank them.
Actually, I was surprised. I was looking at my Letterboxd, right? Which this still isn't sponsored by, so you know, I just talk about it because I like Letterboxd. But I was looking at my Letterboxd, and I actually almost have as many movies this year as I did last year. I think I'm like 10 less this year, which is weird considering I've been to a theater 3 times this year.
Mm-hmm.
Tenet, Birds of Prey, and I think that's it actually. 2 times.
Oh right, Birds of Prey came out this year, and you went to see 1917 as well. That was like in January.
Oh yeah, but that was more of a 2019 movie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's so crazy that DC has released more movies than Marvel has in 2020.
Pretty drastic difference. They should have released Black Widow this year just to match at DC's level that they put up.
I mean, now like, you know, Black Widow doesn't come out till like May or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's allegedly coming out in theaters, even though I don't believe it's going to come out in theaters because I don't believe theaters will exist after the pandemic. So it's kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, in your opinion, after watching Wonder Woman, right?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that experience of watching a movie at home, like a blockbuster kind of like that at home, instead of going to the theater?
You know what? It depends, because there are some people who they just have, you know, the regular. They just got one TV with like basic sound, and Don't get me wrong, just to normally watch a movie in your living room, it's okay. But there are other folks that have like larger TVs, around the room sounds, and that's a better experience. But all in all, it could have been better to go see it in a movie theater, but considering the current circumstances,
obviously no one's going to a theater.
Yeah,
you're not allowed to. So
seeing it at home was the only solution. So it is what it is. At least it doesn't matter. We still watched the movie. It was not so bad, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've got like a decent enough setup to watch. Like I got a pretty good setup to watch movies at home because I do watch movies at home often. Yeah. And so, you know, I've got a good setup in terms of sound and light and stuff. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing like a theater experience. And I mean, I remember when I was watching Tenet in theaters, it was obviously the first time in like months I'd gone to a theater, right?
Yeah.
And I get to the theater, you know, basically in an empty theater because, you know, COVID and people were scared and I was scared. It was all good. But I remember when the sound started playing, it was so loud. I forgot how loud movie theater sound was, and it hurt my ears.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is this how loud normally movies are? And I saw an IMAX too, which means it was even louder.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And I was like, I don't watch movies this loud.
It was like, yeah, a lot of people I saw on Reddit as well, and Twitter and Instagram, everybody was talking about how loud the theater was and stuff. Like, whenever the bass hits in the soundtrack, they felt it, like, in their body, like,
like, I didn't remember how loud it was, and I was like, wait, like, this is crazy, because it's been so long. Like, my ears were not used to that level of noise.
Exactly.
Oh, we should really introduce ourselves again. Right, because that's normally what we do, right?
We should review Tenet as well.
Oh yeah, we have to do that too. Wow, we just done and DC fandom. That happened.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So, anyways, I'm one of your co-hosts of this awesome podcast, which is super consistent. Cullen, and you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Letterboxd at Cull_Deadpool. I think that's the username for everything. It's consistent. Unlike this show. And I'm joined as always by.
I'm Alon. I changed my Instagram username because I just wanted to. It's still Alon.s, but I changed it to 36, just like first number that came to my head. And yeah.
You were so consistent for a while, though. I remember every time I'd be like, wait, you haven't changed it yet. And then
I changed it, yeah.
You kind of ghosted off Instagram, though. You just kind of vanished.
No, I made a new account, that's why.
You made a new account?
Yeah.
Hold on. Now I need to find your new account. Wait. Wait, which one's your new account?
Man, there we go. I sent you a request. You should see it coming up.
That explains a lot. Ah. You're trying to hide from me on Instagram, eh?
Nah. I don't know. My other Instagram was like, it was just so laggy, and I tried. I don't know what happened to it, so I was just like, the only solution is to make a new account and whatever. Just, yeah.
Wait, did you not see my Detroit Pistons meme that I sent you then?
No.
Oh, damn it, I gotta resend that now. It was so funny.
I'm excited to see this.
Okay, let's send it. Forward it to your new Instagram account. Because I need you to see this meme. It's of the utmost importance. And let's see if this decides to not be stupid. Well, I'll send it to you later. It's my Instagram's not working right now.
All right.
Evidently, yeah. But it's a very good meme. It's about how full their stadiums are.
Oh no, the stadiums are, even before coronavirus, not full at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's good. They got an advantage, you know?
The Knicks and the Pistons and the Cavaliers and the Hawks have an advantage this year because they're used to playing with no fans.
Well, the Knicks actually have an advantage because normally, people love going to Madison Square Garden, right? You know, it's more of a home court for everyone else than it is for the Knicks, mostly because no one goes. Like, okay, if you're a Knicks fan, let's be honest here. You're not there to watch the Knicks. You're there to watch whoever they're playing against.
Yeah, exactly.
Only the New York Knicks would screw up a jersey. Only they are the organization where you'd put the different numbers on the front and back. How do you do that? Isn't it harder to do that than to not to put the same number? Like, I feel like that takes an intentional effort to do that.
The New York Knicks are a depressing franchise.
Right? They need to recalibrate or
sell the team.
Yeah, that's an idea.
As they so famously chanted in the game last year.
And still want, because New York fans deserve better. And if they're willing to jump onto Brooklyn's train, then they would.
That's what Spike Lee's going to do.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they're going to win a championship. I'm sorry, they're going to lose a championship, but they're going to win. They're going to go to the finals.
Yeah. No, I don't know who's winning the finals. It's going to be Lakers Nets in the finals, but I don't know who's going to win.
Lakers.
Yeah, we're looking scary. Schroeder, Harrell, LeBron Davis, Marc Gasol.
All I'm saying is if you could pick up LeBron for nothing and steal Marc Gasol, although
I don't like Marc
Gasol's kind of useless, so I mean,
he's very useless.
I mean, every time, like I was watching, right? So I was watching them in the Lakers games. I think it was their opener against the Clippers, and I was kind of sad. I was like, oh, we lost both our bigs, and then I saw Gasol get 3 fouls in the first minute, and I was like, wait a second. I remember why we didn't want him back. I'm good with this now, actually. You know what? Take him.
He gets into foul trouble too easily.
And he gets angry and then rips his jersey, which he did against Boston because he couldn't hit a shot, which isn't our fault. It's his fault. Gasol, you're past your prime now, you know?
Yeah, this is not the Memphis days anymore.
Now, Ibaka, that's sad. Although he did hurt Kawhi, so, I mean, mixed feelings there.
Pandemic P was balling that game.
Both games, 75. The first game he went 75%. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everyone who says the Clippers are going to win are lying to you because they aren't. Because LeBron and AD are better than Kawhi and Paul George, and Montrezl Harrell is better than whoever their backup center is, Zubac.
Zubats. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. If Harold's of course better, he got nominated for sixth man. What did Zubats do? Absolutely nothing.
Zubac got nominated for worse than your sixth man.
Because all it was center.
It was if anything, Harold winning the sixth man award was just your center was so bad that your bench center was so much that just outshined completely. Like
that's what's happening with the Lakers. We're starting Marc Gasol over Montrezl Harrell.
We don't know why, but because technically, I mean, if you got Anthony Davis, realistically, you have Anthony Davis at the 4, which means he can guard all the big men.
He can guard every position.
But specifically, you don't. It's not like you're size deficient in your 4 position. Like you've got a basically defensive player of the year at your 4. So why would you not start Montrezl at the 5? We don't know, but
yeah,
Schroeder's gonna be cool too.
Schroeder,
it's very rare that the defending champions get better, but
Mm-hmm.
They did.
Toronto Raptors gave away Kawhi Leonard, then had a better record.
That's true.
Yeah.
We didn't need him until Boston, and Siakam decided not to show up.
Spitting Siakam.
It's okay. Siakam's better now. It's gonna be good. We gave OG the bag, and it's all good. Gasol signed a supermax, or is Giannis signed a supermax?
Now Paul George and Pascal Siakam are having a fight for who should be crowned the title Pandemic P.
Except Pascal's gonna bounce back better because he's gonna be more consistent, and he's also younger, which means he's at a higher ceiling.
That's his new name now, Spinning Siakam.
Yeah.
Spin cycle.
Yeah. Basketball is great.
Yes.
That's really taking up most of my time. Let's be honest here. I've just been watching games. Like, I've watched more games over the bubble and the beginning of the season than I have ever before. Mainly because I never left just watching Raptors games, and now I'm watching other games because the NBA is kind of cool now. So,
Yeah.
Steph Curry's kind of cool too. I like him. That's just gonna go nowhere. Imagine if Andrew Wiggins could hit a shot. Oh, those are the days, right?
Andrew Wiggins is good. He just needs a better jump shot.
If only they could shoot.
Yeah. If only Klay Thompson was not so fragile.
Yeah. Although Kevin Durant doesn't look fragile.
Oh, Kevin Durant's balling. That guy is crazy.
James Harden, on the other hand.
Oh, he threw a ball at a rookie.
He's balling, but
I don't like you, bro. Get out of my team.
Except it's not really his team anymore because he's kind of rage quit like 7 times.
Yeah, because they changed everything. Then he misses it, and that's why he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Well, maybe he should have been better and won a championship. Then it wouldn't be a problem. If he could be a good player, then this wouldn't be an issue. I say that even though he's been MVP MVP conversation like 5 years in a row, but he can't step up when it matters. That's the thing, right?
That's the issue.
And also, Chris Paul was great. What do you do? I don't like you.
Chris Paul he's going to be a good addition to the Suns. I think the Suns are going to go 8th this year.
See, I think they'll be 9. But that's because I think Golden State's going to do well, and Portland's going to be awesome, and Utah's going to be good. And bottom line, if you're in the East, you've got a better chance of making the playoffs than in the West. Although Russell Westbrook will change things.
Yeah.
Dude's a triple-double.
Triple-double machine.
I love how we haven't recorded for multiple months, and the first thing we talked about, we spent the first 15 minutes on basketball.
Straight up basketball.
Because that's what people. I mean, it's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
The people have to listen to us, right?
They gotta listen to us, to our inputs.
Yep. All we know is the Raptors will be good team, 2nd seed. Watch. I don't care. Goodbye.
What about Boston or Miami?
No.
Even the Bucks?
Oh no, the Bucks will be 1, Raptors will be 2, Brooklyn will be 3. I don't care.
Man,
it's me being idealistic,
Or Brooklyn's going number 1. I got the Nets number 1.
But I feel like they're gonna have to rest KD at some point because I feel like, especially him, I feel like they're gonna start the season off with them and then they're gonna kind of rest them a little bit, and I think that point they'll lose a few games.
Brooklyn Nets load management incoming.
I feel like they have to because of you can't have KD playing like that and expect him not to get injured, especially when you have these back-to-backs and a very condensed season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think the load management will hurt them a bit because Karis coming off the benches of Manu Ginobili is awesome.
Karis LeVert.
6th man of the year right there.
Karis LeVert's going to improve this year. Watch. He'll be
brought on with the second unit, and guess what? no one on that unit is touching the ball except him, so he's gonna literally get all the touches in the second unit.
How about like Jared Allen, Joe Harris?
Joe Harris starts, and Jared Allen is just gonna stand there and rebound. He'll just grab the rebounds and then
rebound and defend the rim.
Imagine. Now, you know it'd be great if the Knicks could get their stuff together and the Clippers could get their stuff together, and then we could imagine if we had a LA conference finals and a New York conference finals. Think about that.
Everybody wanted the LA bubble conference finals, but the Clippers are just too garbage to even be good. The Clippers are too garbage against Denver Nuggets that they blew 4 double-digit leads in 4 consecutive games. That's how bad they are.
Yep. And then because Paul George hit sides and backboards, and Kawhi can go scoreless.
The Pandemic P really showed out.
A team of Jamal Murray and Jokic got locked down Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
PG 13%. Way off P.
Although Siakam didn't play well, so 9 points. 9 points. He played the double overtime game. He played. And he got like 9 points. He had 9 points in a double overtime play where he played like 45 minutes. Or actually, no, he played like 60 minutes actually. If you're playing 60 minutes of basketball against any team, the odds you get more than 9 points, just lucking into those points is very high.
Yeah.
But anyhow, Wonder Woman. Speaking of I can't do it. There's no way to connect Wonder Woman and basketball. Speaking of possible disappointments, except not really because it wasn't a disappointment. You know what? Let's just pretend that made sense. Let's talk about Wonder Woman because I've run out of segues for basketball superhero kind of connection. Okay. Anyways, Wonder Woman. I want to say something which will probably trigger you.
Oh boy.
Because I know that because this is something you really like and something you really don't like, and I'm gonna put them together, or something like something you really don't like because you liked Wonder Woman, but something you really like and something you would never compare to this thing. Anyways, I think Wonder Woman 2's level of quality and kind of overall story is very similar to that of Spider-Man 2, like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 2. Like you think about it in this idea of the whole idea around learning to work without your powers and kind of knowing what you have to sacrifice to kind of be like how superhero comes over everything else, and how you have to sacrifice a lot to be a superhero because it's that important. And Spider-Man 2 deals with the same thing, right? Where Peter doesn't want to be Spider-Man and he wants to be Peter Parker, and he kind of like, why do I have to sacrifice for everybody else always? And Wonder Woman faces the same dilemma. Why do I have to always sacrifice for everybody else? Why can't I be happy? And I think that kind of like you see Wonder Woman basically doesn't have her powers half the movie, and Spider-Man doesn't have his powers half that movie. He doesn't have his
powers as well, yeah. No, I actually like that. That was that's actually interesting. I like that.
Yeah, that was
now that I think about it, it makes sense.
Did I say something smart?
Now that you say it, actually, it's coming together.
Because as soon as I saw this like kind of arc play out, I was like, wait a second. Someone just watched Spider-Man 2 before they wrote the script.
Exactly. Whomever wrote the script, they were like just a few minutes ago, they just finished watching the second Spider-Man movie.
You also know they'd watched Captain Marvel because they had to figure out how is it that we can make sure that our main character, who's super overpowered and should technically be invincible, there should be no story, how can we make sure that they are, like weak for the entire movie so there's some sort of plot. Let's just get rid of their powers. Because Captain Marvel, of course, gets a chip in her neck for like the entire movie so she can't do anything. Which makes the story exist, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, like you think about it, right? Wonder Woman is a very deep movie, right? Like Wonder Woman 2. Like there's a lot of social messages in terms of this idea of like the whole idea of wishing, right? And I was talking to someone after I'd watched it. And I was, because someone who was like thinking about watching it or not watching it, and I was like, this movie is something where if you like to think, like this movie works as fun, but it also works as if you want to think and really like dig into this movie, there's a lot there, right? This idea of what comes with this idea of like getting whatever you want, like wishing. Spoilers.
Not only there was social commentary, but the thing is, compared to the first movie, there was more emotion. You saw Gal Gadot, and she was portraying more emotion in this movie compared to the first, and that was That was unique. That's one thing I liked about it as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? And it's kind of like emotion. Like, I'm not like, how do I say this without insulting people? The questions we must ask ourselves. Like, I never saw that. Like, personally, like people criticize Captain Marvel for not showing emotion and being kind of bland. I know you did. I think you did, right?
What?
Criticize Captain Marvel for being
Oh, I
bland.
criticize her a bunch.
And like, I mean, I personally felt like it worked with the character they're trying to build of this person who had no memory and therefore had no personality to exist, right? Like and I feel like, in a sense, Wonder Woman in the first movie, she was a fish out of water, right? She was this naive kind of person, so it doesn't fit with her character to really emote in a way, right? Because she's more wondering about what's going, like, she has to develop a personality for the personality to exist, almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like in this movie we kind of knew who she was, so she was able to kind of be like, because she in the context of the movie had lived so much longer and had seen so much more and kind of was confident about her own abilities, that she was able to kind of have a personality, right? Because I feel like it takes a movie to kind of get that kind of, especially for characters that are super powerful like that, to kind of get that ability of, recognizing themselves and kind of building a character.
Yeah, when you have a lot of power, it obviously takes longer because you have, with great power comes great responsibility, I quote. That's what happens. It also takes a while for you to recognize who you are and what you can do with it.
But I think, I think the overall kind of, like, the thought process behind this movie is really good. And I think people who are criticizing this, saying it made you think, you're stupid. And people who are saying it made you enjoy yourself, well, then you're also stupid. So, like, look, this movie mixed everything nicely. The only thing I had an issue with, and I'm not sure if you caught this, but I'd be interested to see if you did, because it was just something, I don't know why it stuck out, but like, when, the plane, I don't know if I've told you this thing that really annoyed me, but during the plane scene where they make the invisible jet, which was awesome, by the way, they go to a museum, right? And they take a plane, and the plane just happened, like, I'm not sure. I'm no museum expert, but I don't think the museum just leave planes outside in the open with a full tank of gas.
That's actually kind of true. I didn't realize it, but especially the Air Force Airspace Museum of Washington D.C. is like I think the biggest one in the States. They wouldn't do such a thing like that.
But they leave planes fully gassed and unchained. Like, it wasn't chained to anything either.
Yeah, it's for display, so people can see and learn about it, not for someone to steal and fly.
But like, and that's the thing. Like, if you were running a museum, would you not chain the planes to the floor
planes, empty
people
the
can't
tanks,
steal it?
Everything. Chain the plane, empty the tanks, literally everything they can do so that nobody can take it.
I mean, the only reasoning would be maybe it was still full from when they put it in the museum, but then that's kind of brings up a whole another load of questions, like, why is there full tank of gas in a plane that's still, I don't know, does gas go bad? Can gas go bad?
I think so, probably. If it's probably exposed to something, then it could probably, like, go crazy, I guess.
Like, or like, would it deteriorate in strength, right? Like, would a full tank of gas, like, would it kind of essentially evaporate in a sense from being outside in various weather conditions? Because Washington is not like a super warm place or a very consistent place. It's very similar to I think it's very similar to like in New York in the sense that it's kind of varied in weather a lot more. Like, it can get super cold, but it can also get super warm, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Washington. I'm just kind of based on this geography.
It's like that, yeah.
And so, like, so with those varied weather conditions, would a full tank of gas exist? And I don't know, maybe I'm harping on something that shouldn't be harped on, but that kind of bugged me, because it's like, okay, I get you're using, like, it's different if they filled it up with gas or they made some magical explanation, but like, I don't know, bugged me. That's it. It's just bugged me.
It's interesting. That's a good question. You should, with WB's failure, go file that to him, file a complaint, sue him.
Gal Gadot, if you're listening to this, or Patty Jenkins, or anybody from WB, really, I mean, because obviously you're listening to us, because who wouldn't want to listen to me and you talk about their movie?
Exactly.
We've got such great takes that why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And so yeah, if you're listening, just put in the comments as to why, what the logical explanation, because I'm sure there must be one, or if there isn't, and you could just say there isn't a logical explanation, but then we'll know.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the movie?
All right, well, the first scene where we see young Diane in the competition and stuff, that was really cool. I did really like that. And then after that, it was kind of slow to explain everything that was going to happen. I thought it was kind of a slow process. But then in the halfway point, middle of the second act, it did get better. It did improve for sure, and I was starting to get a lot more interested in it. And yeah, what'd you think about it?
See, this is the thing, right? When it comes to a movie like this, as much as I love the story building and the storytelling, I also love superheroes. And when I get about 30 seconds in the dark of Cheetah being Cheetah, I kind of get angry at the movie,
Yeah.
Because we got 30 seconds of Cheetah being Cheetah in the full Cheetah kind of form. That was it, 30 seconds. Like, what gives, WB? I get you want to be, and also not only was it that, but it was in the complete darkness because you're scared of, obviously, as any CGI anything is, you obviously want to make sure it's dark, unless it's Infinity War and where you can just spend lots of money to make sure it can be bright. But like typically, obviously, so you can hide kind of the imperfections in the CGI, you make it dark. Mm-hmm. But come on, really? And then also there's a lot of water. I remember it was raining, even though I just saw it last night. I remember it was raining. I know they went in the water and there's electricity, but that's about it. My memory of the movie is very fading. But yeah, I mean, like besides the fact that Cheetah and the plane, I mean, other than that, I didn't have any specific issues with it. I kind of see where you're coming from in terms of the fact that it was slow to start. Mm. And I think had this been a regular year, I would have probably harped on that a little bit, but because I don't remember what superhero movies are like. It was just kind of like, cool. If it's slow, okay, cool. Like, it was more like, and also I went in with really low expectations, and I think I know you enjoyed the first one a lot, right?
Yeah, the first one was definitely better than this one, but don't get me wrong, this one was good as well.
Did you go in with high expectations?
Oh yeah, 100%.
See, that's the thing, right? Like, I enjoyed the first one, but I went into this movie because of the way it was being released. I was kind of like, I feel like this means that it's going to kind of be a mediocre movie, right? And I wasn't expecting it to be super big. Also, I was aware of the fact that as a sequel, it's probably going to underwhelm. And so I kind of went in with that mindset, and then ended up – so maybe that for me also helped. The fact that it was slow was kind of like I expected a lot less quality than I got because it was a sequel, and I expected it to kind of to fall into those sequel kind of traps of trying to oversell it, like be better than the original, right? But I think this one settled for being just as good as the original, rather than trying to make it even bigger. Like, you look at Age of Ultron, which although is probably a good movie on its own, you look at it in context of Avengers 1 and how great of a movie that was and how it tried to overhype itself to be bigger than that. This one just tries to be as comparable to
the first one.
Yeah.
Also, all right, I'm going to say a bit of a spoiler, so if you ain't seen Wonder Woman 1984, I guess skip ahead.
I mean, I think we've already kind of jumped over that with, like, all the little things like the invisible jet and stuff. Like, I feel like kind of past the point of no return. I'll probably put in, like, a little spoiler thing.
I like the Linda Carter cameo at the end, the OG Wonder Woman. I really like that.
So, first of all, did you watch DC Fandom?
No.
Okay, so you just kind of heard things afterwards?
Yeah. Okay,
so I spent my entire day watching DC Fandom because I've had nothing else to do, actually. Like, that was literally the reason. Also, it's DC. But when they presented the trailer for this movie, because they had a trailer that was released at DC Fandom, Linda Carter came out to introduce it, right? And you could see the kind of Linda Carter vibes, like, when she was flying, right? Like, every time she was flying, I'd be like, this looks so much like that Linda Carter kind of OG Wonder Woman, right? Like, just the way they kind of presented, even her costume, like, it felt very OG. And so I was like, but the question is, are they going to include Linda Carter in this? And are they going to give her, like, a little – I thought what they would do is something similar to what they did in Thor Ragnarok with the Bourne guy and
Matt Damon?
the other – yeah, Matt Damon and the other guy, I don't remember his name. where they played Thor and Loki in a play, right? It's kind of like they're dressed up as Thor and Loki to kind of like, laugh about the fact that they're Thor and Loki, right? So I assumed something like that would happen, where she would be like a pretend Wonder Woman or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But then they actually gave her a role, and they actually built a story up for her, which I felt was awesome, because
I did not see that coming. I did not see that Linda Carter cameo coming at the end.
The way it came, I didn't see it coming either.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise, to be honest.
So the other thing about, and I mean also the fact that they built the whole story up, and like I feel like it's gonna fly over a lot of people's heads who she was, like not who Linda Carter was. I mean maybe that too, but like I feel like because like I was kind of like not like, because it kind of pops out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of miss who she is, and then once it kind of pops up at the end, Linda Carter as Astria, then you're kind of like, you connect the dots to, oh, she was the one from the thing. Like, I mean, maybe I guess that's kind of the point of end credits. I don't know why I'm harping over something like that, because that's literally the point of end credits. They don't give you any details, and okay. I just like lost it. Okay, yeah. We've just kind of gone over this hill now, where it's kind of like I'm harping on the fact that the end credits is too vague.
Yeah.
The 10-second end credits is too vague.
She just catches a pole, and she's like, "Yo, I'm Linda Carter."
And I've been doing this. She says, "I've been doing this a long time," and I'm like, "That was too vague. I need an end credit scene which is very detailed." This is a problem, right? I'm used to Marvel's end credit scenes where they give you half a story inside of them.
Except for the one in Endgame where it's just Iron Man going like, boom, boom, boom.
Endgame had an end credits scene.
It's not an end credit scene. It's more like an end credit sound effect. The one where like Iron Man is in the tunnel, the caves from the first movie, like making.
Oh right, yeah. Of course.
That was very the vaguest of vague.
Did they didn't have a real one, right?
Nah, I don't know why. They should have had one.
No, because it was over, right? Like that era of the MCU was over.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Unfortunately, what do you mean? It's just gonna get better now. Although.
No, like we're not getting Robert Downey Jr. anymore.
What do you mean? We're gonna get him back. And What If?
Oh right, there's What If as well. Forget about that.
Okay, honestly, I have not, like, I don't know why, but see, I watched, so during the Disney Investors Call, right, which I'm sure we'll talk about more, actually, hold on, let's finish Wonder Woman, then we'll talk about something else before we get lost. So overall, what would you rate it out of 10?
I would honestly give Wonder Woman a solid 7.5 out of 10.
See, I'd give it an 8, just because I want to slightly one-up you. See, if I said 7.5, then it'd be kind of like, well, how can I prove that I liked it more than you, right? So I gotta kind of make it slightly better. So I'm gonna say an 8 out of 10. You know?
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
So yeah, that we're kind of on the same level with it. I think it's one of the best movies of the year, mainly because of the lack of good movies this year. Because granted, like when we do kind of our end of year wrap up, a lot of the movies are just kind of that are on my list exist but aren't very good, right? Like although I have to say the fact that that movie with the guy Thor, what's his face?
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the year Netflix movie. That's the one. Also, that came out this year too. That's kind of crazy. But his movie Extraction has actually fallen out of my top 10, which is kind of crazy.
Damn, what?
Yeah.
Bruh, come on, man.
10 is still strongly up there though, so it's okay.
Respect. That's respectable.
Enola Holmes is also my top 10.
What's that movie even about? Everyone was talking about it.
It's about Millie Bobby Brown as what's his face? Sherlock Holmes' sister. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But Henry Cavill's Sherlock. Okay, I gotta admit, we'll talk about this probably later on at some point, But I don't like Millie Bobby Brown. I made that dislike perfectly clear, Here and other places, if you talk to me about her, I will say I don't like her. Why? Because she's annoying off camera and not a very good actor. Annoying. And not a very good actor on camera because she ruined Godzilla. But that movie was very good. She was good in it. Overall, it was good. I don't like Henry Cavill either, typically. I don't like him as Superman. I liked him in that movie with Tom Cruise. Oh my God, my brain just doesn't work right now. It's right there. Wow. Yes, Fallout. He was very good, but in this movie he was good too. So I was kind of like, wait, maybe he's an actor who can act. Maybe it's Zack Snyder's fault.
It's Zack Snyder. He's wasting his career with Zack Snyder.
Yeah. Oh, the Snyder Cut. We've got to talk about that too, don't we?
Oh, release the Snyder Cut.
Because our intro now kind of feels weird. Every time I listen to it, I'm like, because in our intro, we have a clip from way back when the Snyder Cut was something we never thought we'd actually get because we assumed that businesses had backbones, but it turns out they don't.
Exactly.
So anyways, when we thought that WB had a backbone and they were going to stand up for what they believe in, like not succumbing to peer pressure, or not even peer pressure, but like succumbing to audience pressure and a spineless audience pressure, and a lot of wasted money. We were talking about this of how they were calling up the they're calling the AT&T service kind of centers, right, and the reps there, and saying, give us the Snyder Cut and then hang me up, right?
Yeah.
And we were laughing about that. And that's actually part of the intro, right, which is the give me the Snyder Cut. Mm-hmm. And now that feels weird because we actually got the Snyder Cut. So I'm kind of like, that didn't age well.
Yeah.
Remember when we thought that harassment wasn't a way to get what you wanted? Good times.
Good times.
Now, apparently, that's all you have to do. It's very easy. COVID messes. Are you going to watch the Snyder Cut?
I don't know, to be honest.
See, the person inside me that's curious is kind of like, let's watch it. And then the person inside me that doesn't want to support this thing is like, no. And then the me who knows that I'm going to have to talk about it is like, yes, we're going to watch it. So it's kind of how I can. It's like, look, I'm going to have to talk about this thing, so might as well watch it instead of just saying this thing's stupid before I watch it.
Yeah.
I don't think if people are expecting it to be good, it's going to be awful. It's going to be long, boring, and awful, but, you know.
We'll have to see.
I guess we'll have to see. So, Speaking of DC, because, you know, we're basically on this DC tangent already. What was I going to say? Oh, right, DC fandom, because we're going all the way back, you know, to when DC was relevant. I mean, I guess they're still relevant, more than Marvel at least. Because as much as Marvel likes saying names and then Disney stock just jumping to new heights, they haven't actually showed existence of any of these properties. So, you know, it just shows what people want. Anyways, not the point, really. DC fandom. So, what was I going to say? I don't even remember DC fandom anymore, honestly. It existed. That's what I remember.
I'm on the DC fandom website. All they got here is Wonder Woman 1984 virtual world premiere. Find a theater and get tickets. Experience the soundtrack, official merchandise.
Imagine wanting to go to a theater.
Wonder Woman 1984 and World Central Kitchen. Join us in support of WZK. Donations provide meals to communities in need around the world. Okay, interesting stuff.
Well, they say that at NBA games.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah. That's facts.
Black Adam.
Black Adam. Let's check out Black Adam.
I would just like to point out the fact that I still don't believe this. I don't care. This movie's not really coming out. I don't believe that Warner Bros. Has the guts to release movies that they say they're going to release. I don't care what they do. I don't care how much they do it. They don't have the guts. They are spineless. So
maybe
Dwayne,
you never know. Maybe in Captain Marvel 2, it could come out of nowhere.
Captain Marvel 2? You're mixing up universes. Oh, you mean Shazam?
Wait, is Black Adam not Marvel? Isn't he like
no,
Captain Marvel's enemy?
Captain Marvel is Shazam's old name.
Man, come on, bro. You got me mixed up. Come on. You got me mixed up.
Captain Marvel was the name of Shazam in the 90s.
Oh.
Before Marvel sued.
Man,
and then he was
mixed Shazam. Up in here.
that was
you gotta be like, what in the world?
If I revamp an intro, that part's right there. Is it Captain Marvel? That's the intro.
That's funny.
If I revamp the intro, then that's going in there. Maybe I'll take out the Snyder Cut part and put this in. But yeah, Black Adam is a thing, and it's DC. It's DC. It's the dude. It's the Rock guy. He's gonna be this Black Adam dude, and then there's gonna be this kid from the Netflix movies for teenagers, who's gonna be the sidekick to Black Adam. This movie's gonna be awful. Let's be honest here. Like, this is the thing, right? Like, I'm trying, but like, look, The Rock can't act, can't be dramatic. He can be funny, but he can't. Like, he's like Chris Hemsworth. He's not an actor. He can be, if he's put in the perfect situation, like Jumanji 1. I haven't seen 2, so I can't say that because I refuse to watch something with Danny DeVito, which I feel like insults half the people on the internet, but like, whatever. And he can't act unless he's put in a good situation, right? Like Chris Hemsworth. Men in Black, prime example of how Chris Hemsworth can't act if he's told to improvise. And B, I don't like this idea of anti-heroes as the main character in movies. The only time that works is the Joker. But even the Joker movie, like, I've always told people when they bring up the Joker as an anti-hero movie that works, I'm like, the Joker wasn't a superhero, though, or a supervillain. He wasn't. He was a person, right? It was a human interest story. It wasn't a story about anything else. Like, it wasn't a superhero story, you know? Even, like, that's what, like, Disney had the initial idea of giving Thanos a movie, but they didn't. Do you know why they didn't?
Why?
Or actually, I think it was supposed to be a TV show or something like that. Then it was supposed to be a book that was canon. Then it just became a book that wasn't canon because they don't want to do that, because they realized that the best villain development is when you develop the villain in the movie, right? Like, Thanos was developed, but Thanos was developed in Avengers, right?
In order to develop Thanos fully, he needs his own movie, obviously, because then it gives you more time to go in depth about him.
But do you not feel that Infinity War developed Thanos as a strong villain?
Infinity War definitely did, but there were some things obviously missing. And let's say they just threw in Joaquin Phoenix's Joker into like Robert Pattinson's Batman movie without the Joker movie happening. I'm very confident that they would for sure do some character development on him, but the Joker movie just went a few more meters deep into the ocean with character development. You know what I mean?
But then look at it like this, right? So who's the best DC villain to ever kind of exist in film?
Joker.
Which one?
Heath Ledger.
Exactly. Did he get his own movie?
No. Unfortunately.
But do you not think that the way they did him in The Dark Knight, because you have to have that contrast, right? The good guy has to be the one you're following, but you have to feel sympathy for the bad guy. You can't, like, I feel like the Joker is different because the Joker is almost it's a very different movie, I think, than of what a Black Adam would be, because it's got the cosmic elements to it, right? You got this kind of like idea of flying and superpowers in space. Like, Joker doesn't have any of that. And the Joker, even in that movie, he wasn't the Joker. He was a guy who was being the Joker, right? Like, it was a movie about him. Also, Joaquin Phoenix is a much more talented actor than, like, that entire crew around that movie is much better than what they have around Black Adam right now, right? If you have a very good dramatic actor and you're going to do a grounded kind of story about a character and kind of like look at it like that, then yes, by all means. Like, and I've been saying this on here, and I'll say it, like, if you want to do a villain movie where the villain really isn't the villain but the hero, right? You do Poison Ivy and just make it about climate change. So there you go, problem solved. Then the Oscars again. You'll get all the Oscar nominations. But the thing is, the movie doesn't work if you make Megan Fox the Poison Ivy, because that's what people wanted, right? But, like, that doesn't work. You have to have a good actor to make a good movie, you know? Like, even Deadpool, right? Because that's the other thing people brought up when I've made this argument is Deadpool. And I say, but Deadpool is the hero, right? There's never, like, he's never the villain. He's the
hero, an anti-hero.
But even that concept of anti-hero, like, he is the hero. Like, I don't think there's a point in which he's the villain of any of his movies. Like, he's never the anti-anything. I feel like he is the hero. He's just the hero who's funny and takes things a little bit too far, right? But, like, you think anti-hero, you think Punisher, who's a villain and a hero, right?
Yeah.
But Deadpool, I feel like in his movies at least, yes, in other media such as the comics, he's shown as a villain, right, and a mercenary. But in his movies, he's been a straight up hero. I don't think you can argue otherwise, really, because you look at something like the Punisher, who is literally a villain because, he's Daredevil fights him, right? But he also works with Daredevil because he also wants to do what's right? But I don't know. I feel like you look at the most successful kind of characters, right? And they don't have their own movie. They're developed in contrast to the hero, right? You're focused on the heroes because you have to make sure the story matches, and also the villain, because you have to have a good versus evil kind of fight, right? Like Joker didn't have a good guy, right? There was no real good guy. It was society that was the bad guy, right? And in Black Adam, if you want to have a good versus evil, it has to be about the good guys trying to beat the evil guys, right? Because then you feel bad because you feel like the people you're rooting for. Like when you're rooting for Thanos, you felt like the good guys are beating up on him for no reason, right? And I feel like
Thanos was a good guy.
But that's the thing. And when the Avengers beat up on him, you're like, but you're beating up on him for no reason. It's almost like you're rooting against the people you've been watching and been invested in, almost. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like there's never been like. It's never just because even Venom, right? Venom was a good guy, like straight up good guy. Like the only time you can make the argument that someone's an anti-hero or is a bad guy centric movie is if, or an anti-hero centric movie is if the person they're against you could argue is doing something for the right intentions, like in a heroic way, but. The Cable and Cable maybe, but even then he wasn't really the villain, right? Like Cable, I guess you could argue possibly is an anti-hero, but then again Cable on his own, right? Like he was in that he didn't have his own movie, he was in that movie.
Yeah,
right? He was with Deadpool.
In there. Yeah.
He was the villain to Deadpool, and you could develop him like that. You could feel bad for him, right? Mm-hmm. Like unless I'm completely forgetting something, but like has there been a movie where the anti-hero is being. Because I feel like what it actually, what it does? I figured it out while talking about it. I kind of realized what it does. You know what it does?
What?
It makes you if you bring them back then as a villain, they aren't a villain because they've been doing good things, right? Someone who's like Venom, right? In Tom Hardy's Venom movie, I feel like it's hard to make him. You can't make him a villain to Spider-Man because not successfully, at least because he's already done good things. He's a good guy, right?
Yeah.
He takes people who are bad, right? But he doesn't. Why would he fight Spider-Man? There's no reason to fight Spider-Man.
Because Spider-Man's a good guy, though.
Right? Like unless Spider-Man might want to stop him from going too far, but like there's no reason an actual like villain. Like Thanos was still a villain, right? At the end of the day, he was still. He was still evil, right? He was still doing something bad. He was never doing something purely for the good of humanity. He was doing things, yes, in his own mind for the good of humanity, but also for his own selfish deeds and harming like literally the entire world. And then Endgame, he was purely a villain, right? And I feel like I don't know. Can you make a hero or someone who was just a hero a villain, just like that?
Well, probably not, because the reputation, it's a reputation. If you make Spider-Man into a bad guy, you're still going to see him as a hero who swings around New York City saving people. You're not going to see him as some evil guy who wants death squads at everyone's house and to shoot and kill everybody. Like, that's horrible, don't get me wrong, but the good that Spider-Man's done over the years, where people have seen a lot, it will outnumber the bad.
And even I think Venom's the same thing. Like, can you see Tom Hardy's Venom being like killing people?
Only bad guys.
No,
guys.
but like like innocent people.
Killing innocent people for sure not.
Right, and so how can he be a bad guy if he's not gonna, if he's not gonna take innocent lives? Then what's the point of him? Like, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless you're willing to take innocent lives and like kind of be a villain who people can hate, and the hero has to stop, then I feel like there's no point. Like, that's my worry. I think that's what the big root issue is. Can you, like, now if they want to make him a hero, then by all means go ahead. But I feel like unless like if the movie where the people are doing the other people are doing completely the bad thing and you're doing the right thing, then it isn't you being misguided. It's you being the good person, the right person, right? Because you're rooting for them, and the other guy's being completely wrong, right? I mean, maybe that's just me kind of like I don't even think Joaquin Phoenix's Joker makes sense to like I don't see him hurting Pattinson's Batman or any Batman, right? Like there's no reason.
Yeah.
If anything, Batman's exactly like him because they're both products of society being awful.
They both had their tragedies, yeah.
So like Heath Ledger's Joker, you could see him hurting Batman because he did. And he had the motivation to do so because Batman was trying to stop him because he was willing to hurt people. Joaquin Phoenix, yes, he hurt people, but he was still good in a sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he has no beef with Batman essentially, and Batman has no beef with him really. Like he's done a few things, yeah, but he's not a threat that Batman has a beef with. You know?
Yeah.
That's my problem with anti-hero movies, bottom line. But, I mean, you know, if it comes out, then we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else you want to say about DC fandom?
I didn't get to watch it, so I ain't got much to say.
But, like, anything you've heard about any projects? Batman. You've seen the Batman trailer, I assume?
Yeah. But all of, like, those 40 projects they're coming out with, let's be realistic. Like, one of them are going to happen. And that one movie that's going to happen, they're going to be, like, terrible.
I mean, Batman and Suicide Squad will both happen, I think. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm trying to remember if they announced anything else. I don't think they really announced anything besides... And the video game stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But, like... I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but they announced Shazam 2, which will probably happen because Shazam 1 made money. What do you think about Wonder Woman 3 maybe not happening?
Yeah, I'd say don't take it any further. I think 2 movies is good enough, considering that.
Did you hear Patty Jenkins' explanation for why?
No.
Not because of the story, but she said, I don't want to direct a movie in which will not be released in theaters.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you... Okay, yeah, that's kind of reasonable, to be honest.
But, like, if I think it's right now, her reaction, because she's kind of like, theaters exist, but if theaters don't exist, right, like, then it's hard to kind of have the legs to stand on saying, I don't want to direct a movie because it's not going to be in a media... It's kind of like if someone said, well, I don't want to... I guess drive-in theaters are still a thing, but, like, you know, I don't want to direct a movie because it's not going to be seen on a drive-in screen or not going to be seen on, like, a... I don't know, I'm trying to think of... Or it's not going to be seen on, like, actual film, right? Like...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe I'm just kind of, again, reading into random things, but, like... I think if that's the future, I think directors shouldn't be against it, you know?
Yeah. No, I totally see where she's coming from, and she's not wrong, to be honest.
But it's, like, the future and stuff. Like, I mean... Yeah. It'll really depend on how, like, they handled it poorly by saying everything's going to streaming for 2021 when Disney's just doing one thing at a time, right? Because obviously, inevitably, Black Widow will go to Disney Plus and theaters, like, at the same time, but they're right now saying no because they don't want to scare people because they don't want to make jumps, right? Like, they'll wait till they know theaters aren't going to be open for Black Widow, and then they'll be like, okay, releasing it now.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it worked, so, you know, there's that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Disney then, because I'm kind of done with Warner Bros. We've talked way too much Warner Bros. You know?
Yeah.
They've been too active for us. It's the problem.
Way too active. It's strange.
Well, Disney had been the exact opposite recently. They've been hiding, and then they had their call where they announced 700 projects, and then they walked away. By the way, fun fact about that: since Comic-Con, where they announced their big slate from before. None of the projects they announced during that slate have come out yet. None of them.
Which movies were they, and when were they supposed to come out?
So the first movie they announced, which had been kind of announced before, was Black Widow, right?
That hasn't come out, yeah.
Then Eternals.
That also hasn't come out.
Shang-Chi.
Has Eternals even started filming?
They're done.
What about Shang-Chi? Are they done? Are they finished filming that?
They just finished. I think they're in post now. Yeah.
Oh, are they in like the editing phase or something?
Yeah.
Okay. What are the other ones?
They announced WandaVision TV show.
Yeah, there was a trailer for that as well, which basically means like we're done with this.
That's ready. January, I think it comes out. Falcon the Winter Soldier, again, I think that's March it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And then Moon Knight, it's in the works. Blade in the works. What else? She-Hulk in the works. Miss Marvel in the works. What If in the works.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically their slate. They might have announced more. Thor.
Yeah.
Guardians.
None of those have come out yet.
The last movie we saw was Spider-Man Far From Home.
And that was in July 2019. Right now it's December 2020.
Jesus, 2019.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, so Spider-Man Far From I had to actually look that up just recently. What was the last Marvel movie that came out? Because I couldn't remember because it's just been so long.
Yeah, that's the last movie. That's the last movie that came out.
And then it was Endgame before that, and I was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of.
What was the movie that came out right before Captain Marvel?
Was it Infinity War?
Infinity War?
No, it wasn't. It was
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah. Then there was a long break.
It was Ant-Man and the Wasp in July, then nothing till February with Captain Marvel, or March, sorry, with Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
But that was what they were doing, right? They did Black Panther. Oh.
Yeah, I remember in through 2017 and 2018 they had they had Thor, Black Panther, they had Homecoming, Thor, Black Panther, Infinity War, Far From Home, and it was within the span of one every 3 or 4 months. So it was really hey.
Okay, get ready for this. Homecoming, July. Far From Home, November. Or not far. Sorry, Homecoming, July. Thor, November of 2017.
Black Panther was February 2018, and then
Black Panther 2018. Infinity War, May 2019, and then
2018.
Actually, 2018. Yes, you're right. Sorry. And then Ant-Man and the Wasp, July 2018, and then Captain Marvel, March 2019, and then Endgame, April 2019. It came out right at the end of April. And then Far From Home, July.
Mm-hmm.
And then nothing.
Exactly.
Wow. They went all hard and then nothing.
And then just nothing.
I mean, and then the other thing, right, was they announced all the stuff, which is great.
But none of it's come out yet.
But that's the thing, right? And it's kind of I get it, it's a lot of the stuff is basically done and they're sitting on it, mainly waiting for theaters, but it feels weird that we haven't gotten Marvel in so long, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're working on it and editing it, obviously, that's understandable. It'll come out soon, but yeah, like you said, we're so used before coronavirus that Marvel movies come out once every 3, 4, 5 months maybe. It just feels weird.
Remember when we thought that the gap between Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel was long?
Oh, this one doesn't even compare. This one's
well, it's been over a year now, so
it's been a while.
We felt like we were lacking something then, but now it's nothing. Yeah. And the other thing, which is Black Panther, right? Because of course Chadwick Boseman has passed away, sadly.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, great guy, good actor.
Yes. Are they gonna do his what they did for Carrie Fisher in the last Star Wars movie? Yeah, they're gonna do that.
Well, essentially, what I believe personally, and a lot of people are saying other things, but they're wrong because I'm very confident in this. So see, typically when one films a movie, they have, especially when Disney, because they're very good at knowing everything. Look, Disney at the end of the day knew this was a possibility because if someone's having chemotherapy in the middle of filming, they're gonna know, right? It's very unlikely he hid this from them, and I think that they have scenes filmed where you can make it through great writing and editing. You can make it look like a proper death scene, a proper sending off scene, right?
Yeah.
you can you don't have to show his face in a funeral, right? For example, right? You can, like Carrie Fisher, same thing. They had scenes of her death scene, and they just used those, and they kind of wrote a story around it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it. You can make it work. And my only question just ends up being, what is the future of that franchise? Because Shuri has been under some scrutiny recently, or the person, because of her anti-vaxxer comments and her interesting comments
about the recent Pfizer, Moderna coronavirus vaccines.
Yes, and her talking about this idea of not taking it or not believing it's going to work or something. I don't remember what her comments were, but they were divisive. And Disney is very known for taking swift action against people who are against their very hard moral line in terms of what they can say. Granted, they've been kind of lenient recently with, the Mulan actress who was very adamantly pro-China and anti-democracy, and they, of course, did not do anything about that. James Gunn's back in the fold, although a lot of people, including myself, believe he never should have been let go in the first place because past comments should not be an implication for the future. But, I think that, are they loosening their moral kind of strictness, or will they do something about this? And can they do something about this, really?
Oh boy, I don't know if they can do something about it, to be honest.
Because they said they've committed to the second movie. They've committed to not recasting him, but they haven't and I think the interesting thing was they never recommitted to not recasting anybody. They just said Black Panther will not be recast. So could they recast Shuri and just kind of move on like that and just say, make something about the multiverse or something, did something?
I don't think recast Shuri just because of what she said. You can disagree. You're more than allowed to disagree with what someone says. But that doesn't mean, you said something wrong, we're going to fire you because your First Amendment rights doesn't mean anything to us, so get out of here.
No, I agree with you on that. My point more is in this idea of Disney having a strict moral code as to what people say. And how you look at the James Gunn situation, where how quick they were to get on that, and is their moral code going to essentially make sure they can't make them almost feel obligated to get rid of her or change something or recast her?
See, when it's a moral code, then I think it dives into a completely different territory. But if that didn't exist, then that would go into the other direction I was referencing to.
Oh no, and I personally don't think it's necessary, but I think as well as I do, Disney's kind of very strict level of, because they want to be a family-friendly brand and how they want their actors, especially in their family-friendly properties, to portray themselves, and how they have this no tolerance for anything that could even be slightly wrong, because you look at James Gunn's past comments got him in trouble, and so would that same and now, but then again, I brought up the Mulan example of how they didn't say anything in regards to the Mulan actress's kind of comments on China being anti-democracy. So it's interesting how they're going to balance their moral code with money and continuity and story, right? Would you be open to her being recast?
Yeah, to be honest with you, someone good at least.
And yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad that we're not going to get Black Panther back on the big screen.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the way it is,
Unfortunately.
So the other thing is, when it comes to something like, are you excited for What If? I think that's the first question I have to ask.
Yeah, honestly, I am.
So hold on, we got to make sure we have this in, very clear. You're excited for an animated show.
For the first time in my 17 years of being in this world, I'm actually pretty excited for an animated show.
Boom. That's crazy. Okay, this is a breakthrough here. Marvel has made you excited for an animated show. Okay, great. Although we're going to have to find some receipts of when I told you were going to be excited for it. Because I did.
Oh, God. All right, let's hear him. Let's hear him.
I'll have to find them because I have to go back. I have to clip through the other podcasts. But I know I said it. I said it. I told you it's going to be great. You're going to love it. And you're like, no, it's animated. It's none. The question is, will this make you get Disney Plus?
Ooh, I don't know. I really don't.
Are you excited for Moon Knight?
Yeah, somewhat.
Are you excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, that's gonna be like John Wick. So yeah.
Are you excited for WandaVision?
Somewhat.
Or when those shows start coming out, is that enough for you to get Disney Plus?
Falcon and Winter Soldier for sure.
And will you watch Mandalorian when you have? Wait, have you been watching The Mandalorian?
No.
Will you watch it then?
Probably.
Great.
Most likely.
This is just a big win right here. Getting you to watch The Mandalorian would be a big win. The Mandalorian's awesome. I got to review it at some point. I've been lazy and I'm just kind of like, I don't want to review it now, but I should. Really should.
Yeah.
So what's your most excited upcoming Marvel project? Oh, Secret Invasion's coming out too.
Secret Invasion, yeah.
I have problems with that, but like.
Exclusively because of Richard Madden,
Eternals. Yeah.
I
figured you were gonna say
Soldier. That. Yeah.
And Angelina Jolie.
Mm.
That's a pretty good cast. They won't give us a trailer for that for some reason.
Yeah.
It makes me sad, but. And after I watched Nomadland, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm excited for Eternals now. Like that kind of just hyped me up for Eternals because, of course, same director, and that movie was very well done. And I was like, ooh, if the same kind of vibe and level of awesome directing is done in both movies, then it's all good. That was yeah. I mean, if anyone who knows me knows my most hyped Marvel project is obviously Miss Marvel, and that'll be for the rest of the time the most hyped Marvel project. I've been on the Miss Marvel bandwagon before it was a bandwagon. And then on top of that, they actually not only did they cast properly a Pakistani actress, but they also cast a Canadian. So that's kind of like even bigger wins.
Pakistani Canadian.
Mhm.
Hey.
Like that's even bigger wins.
Canada represent, yo. Yes, sir.
And the flag, yeah. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like even bigger wins right there is Canadian. Like Marvel's just catering their show toward me. I'm telling you, it's show.
They're hearing your takes and they're like, all right, we gotta. This is for you and for the general public. We gotta do this like pronto.
And all they gotta do is give me the Toad, and I'm okay. The Toad Man. I'm never gonna remember his name. Oh, and the scientist dude. What's his name? The bird scientist. Why do I not remember anything today? It's just kind of a day. It's kind of one of those days.
Are you sure that the next Marvel project you're most excited for is not Ms. Marvel, but it's instead the vampire guy?
Morbius?
Are you sure it's
not a real... Nope. Sony doesn't count. Nope. I don't care. They can't shove their way into my Marvel universe. I will never... Oh, yes, let's just put this into like, existence. I will never, in my entire life, consider, no matter what happens, consider any Sony-made properties, besides this Marvel Spider-Man movies, the canon in the Marvel universe. I don't care. Venom, not canon. Morbius, not canon. Whatever else garbage they pump out, not canon. I don't care. No.
Yeah, right. Fair
now,
enough.
Spider-Man, I've had issues with that too, because I wanted a nice human interest story, but now we're getting some crazy multiverse Doctor Strange story, so whatever. Whatever,
Yeah, whatevers.
Doctor Strange exists too. That's the other one.
Yeah, I forgot about it for a sec.
That's going to kind of be good, though.
Yeah, that first Doctor Strange movie was also good.
And I've been playing a lot of Spider-Man because I have a PlayStation now, so I can play Spider-Man.
Oh, right, it's only on PlayStation.
Yeah, I know.
That's depressing.
So when I got the 5, and I was like, great, now I can play the remastered Spider-Man. Now I can see if this hype, and it's awesome. It's so much fun. finished Miles, and now I'm kind of working through the Spider-Man game. And I'm like, this is epic.
I remember when it came out, everybody was really excited about it.
It's so much fun, and then I'm just playing the suit with the Raimi suit, and I'm just like, this is awesome.
Oh yeah, they got the Sam Raimi suit in there as well.
They got the amazing suit, they got the Homecoming, they got the advanced suit, they got the stealth suit, they got all this stuff.
Everything, any Spider-Man suit you can think of that's probably going to be in that game, despite the fact that I don't play it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I got the next gen consoles, and I'm kind of like, great, sign me up.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing 2K next gen, great stuff too.
Is 2K next gen that good?
No, they just finally changed my NBA, so I'm happy.
Damn.
I mean, it's 2K, it's garbage.
The same thing every year. They gotta change something to 2K.
It was slightly changed.
Yeah.
But maybe we can get this is the thing, like that. Can we just get a Wonder Woman video game? That's the other thing I learned watching that movie. Is I want a video game of Wonder Woman where we can play.
Combine the first and second movies together, and make that into a video game.
Or just give us a whole new story, Mm-hmm. But yeah. What else have happened between?
Between what?
The last time we recorded and now?
Oh yeah, I know what I wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah, you had a topic.
Yeah, it was a Tom Cruise meltdown on Mission Impossible 7. Did you not hear?
I might have.
Here, let me play a recording. Somebody recorded it. It's pretty crazy. Hold on.
I don't know if the actual thing will get it, like the recording. But if not,
I'll put it to the mic. It's fine.
Okay. Will we get copyright striked for it?
Probably not. Fingers crossed.
I mean, worst case scenario, they demonetize us, and we're not making any money off this anyway, so
Yeah.
It's all good.
All right, here it is.
Please, YouTube, demonetize us.
So yeah, basically you get the gist of it. So what was happening is now
I heard a lot of yelling.
Right now they're filming Mission Impossible 7, I think in Italy, and Tom Cruise is he's pretty pissed because a lot of the crew members were not following the coronavirus restrictions, and he was like, "Yo, people are losing their homes, people are losing their jobs because of this entire pandemic, and this industry is going to the ground." And I'm honestly on Tom Cruise's side with this. And
wait, I need to clip that, and I need to take that, and I think what I'm gonna do is every time anyone does something, I'm just gonna play it for them. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it because it's just so much easier than yelling at people myself. It's so much easier to just play Tom Cruise yelling at people.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the thing. Yeah,
but that's the thing. It's how hard is it to fall? Even Harden, it enrages me. And I know we're kind of going back to NBA stuff.
Oh my god, that James Harden stuff.
Look, I don't care who you are. You could be again, I don't care who you are.
You could be Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world.
But you cannot go out there and then say stuff and do stuff that's dangerous. This is the thing, right? Which people forget. This pandemic isn't about you in the sense that it's not about me, you, or James Harden, because James Harden, again, is an athlete and he is someone who's got a very strong kind of cardiovascular health. Mm-hmm. You and me are both younger, much younger. We're not in any particular harm, in danger when it comes to this. There's a good chance that we'll both be fine because stronger immune systems, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of NBA players, at least, will be probably fine because, again, they literally run up and down a court all day. They've got a very strong kind of immune system and kind of cardiovascular system, right? So it's going to take a lot to kind of, bring them down in a sense. But it isn't about us. The whole pandemic is about the people who are vulnerable and who are going to die from this and who don't have strong immune systems, right? It isn't about protecting yourself, right? It's about protecting everybody else, which is why it triggers me. And I know it triggers you too because you made a passive-aggressive post about this. Or not passive, just straight-up aggressive during Halloween. And it was just a straight-up aggressive post about how people are just completely stupid and just...
No, not only you're not caring about coronavirus, literally nobody cares what you're doing. It's simple.
Well, by the way, I'm gonna have to actually bleep out you saying that word of what the virus is called because YouTube doesn't like it. So I'm gonna have to actually bleep that out. So
Wait, they don't like when I call it coronavirus?
I mean, I know that there's a word they can't use. They get mad at and take down videos because misinformation, I guess. I don't know. Even though we're not spreading this, apparently it's a thing. I've just called it the virus or the pandemic and just kind of like avoided that. But I'm gonna probably have to bleep you out because they're gonna probably get mad at me for uploading a video which has.
Damn.
Because YouTube's kind of stupid, so it's kind of
That's facts.
It's okay. Worst case scenario, YouTube takes us down. We're still on iTunes and all that stuff. So.
And yeah, after I heard that recording of Tom Cruise, like I completely viewed him differently. And the night after, I watched Mission Impossible 4, and like I couldn't stop thinking about that recording where he was like, get your boop together and stuff. And I was like, yeah. I never thought he would be that kind of person to yell at a room full of people like that.
Yeah, the Raptors are losing to the Spurs.
No way.
It's 96-94.
And the Pistons lost to Cleveland in overtime. That's depressing.
Ouch. Oh, second overtime.
Yeah, double OT.
Well, they just kind of blew them out at the end.
Spinning Siakam's rocking 16 points.
Oh, thank God the Sixers beat the
Knicks,
because that would have been depressing.
Marcus Aldridge's not doing so good.
He never does good. He's old now.
DeMar DeRozan's got 17. Lonnie Walker's got 14. Keldon Johnson has 10.
DeMar's ain't hitting threes. It's okay.
And Patty Mills is 21. Not bad.
Yeah. So back to pandemics. Also, the Rockets are doing well because Harden's playing. So. Yeah, it triggered me though so much. Like I thought they should have kicked him out of the league after his stunt, which canceled the OKC game.
Yeah.
I was rooting for suspension. I didn't think they should fine him that little.
Right.
I mean, in comparison to what he makes, I mean, like, yeah, but I mean that triggered me a lot. But yeah, I mean, some people are going to be stupid, and we're going to have to try to stand up for them without seeming, I mean, I guess I'm not trying to seem anything, but like, you know what I mean. People suck. Bottom line.
We got anything else to talk about?
Yeah, we do lots.
What is it?
I'm sure there's something. I had a whole mental list of topics, and they've just kind of all vanished.
Dude.
Just like everything in my head now is just kind of gone. I just can't remember anything. You've literally seen me behind a Mission Impossible, and I couldn't remember what Mission Impossible is called. I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like there's something else big, though. And it's going to bug me if I don't remember this. Wait, by the way, it's kind of like a partially off-topic thing. What do you think about Sony's garbage projects?
What garbage projects are they making?
Whatever they're making. I don't know what they're making. Just assume they're making something.
Any Sony movie that comes out, I'm like, nah, let's try and avoid this. Like, just stay away.
You know what we should do?
What?
We should do a what you watched and box office segment.
Oh, right, facts. We should do. Oh, wait. The thing is, during this entire coronavirus, we've been going on a lot of trips outside of Toronto through the car to this to like our small property. So I watched a lot of movies. So I actually got a lot to talk about.
See, now this is during the pandemic. You really should be using your Letterboxd and just kind of like uploading so I can see what you're watching.
Hey, I ain't been on Letterboxd, man. Come on. Wait, okay, I'm gonna go into my Netflix, go to watch again, because that's gonna tell me what I watched during.
If you had Letterboxd, you wouldn't need to do that. Now they could sponsor us.
Letterboxd, please sponsor us.
I talk about you enough, anyways. Like I've actually converted people. Like I've actually gotten people to get Letterboxd. Like I've actually done that. Like I've made people get this. Because I'm just very convincing when I tell them constantly to get it. Eventually they're kind of like, fine, I'll get it. And then some of them use it.
Let's see what I watched.
Don't you just love when Rise of Skywalker is in the top 5 for 2020 box office?
That's so depressing. That just shows.
And Jumanji's 4.
That just shows how how bad movies were this year, and how little the little amount of movies that came out this year as well.
The top 5 box office movies of 2020 were Bad Boys for Life, 1917, Sonic, Jumanji, Star Wars.
Atrocious, absolutely atrocious.
And then worldwide, it was The 800, Bad Boys, Tenet, Sonic, Dolittle, which is still awful. The Tenet's in there, so that's good.
All right, let's see.
Oh, I watched Sonic sometime.
Sonic. All right, so for what we watched, do you want to go first?
Well, because we're gonna unless we're gonna go end up talking about every single movie we watched since the pandemic or since the last we recorded.
Pick out the best movies you watched during the time that we haven't recorded.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna avoid the movies that came out this year because we're gonna talk about them later anyways. Mm-hmm. So we might, and then I'm gonna talk about things which need to be talked about.
Yeah.
You can go first though, because I need to actually look at my movies I've watched and try to figure out which ones I should talk about.
Okay, so the best movie that I watched on Netflix during the coronavirus is a movie called Free State of Jones with Matthew McConaughey. It's about it's a true story about this guy in the American Civil War named Newton Knight, who just gets together a bunch of deserters and free slaves and other folks to fight against it's like Southerners fighting against the South, and it's really good. It's got a lot of emotion, a lot of action in it as well, and it's a high quality movie. It really is. It's terrific.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it or not?
100%.
Recommend?
I would 100% recommend it. If you're looking for a really serious movie to watch, no nonsense, none of that. If you're looking for something really serious to watch Free State of Jones for sure. You will love it.
I'm gonna try to figure out the last time we recorded so I can figure out what movies I have talked about. Hold on. Now I gotta figure out when I last uploaded a podcast episode. That would have been, if the stupid YouTube, 4 months ago. Wow. Okay. Jesus, it's been a long time. Okay. So 4 months ago. I'm not even going to go back that far. I will talk about. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do something different. I'm not going to recommend a movie. I'm going to angrily hate on a movie.
Damn, all right.
So, this movie is called Hocus Pocus. It is utter trash. Don't watch it. I don't care. Watch it on Disney Plus. I don't care. It's garbage. But it's just garbage. I'm sorry. It is awful garbage that makes you hate movies.
Hocus Pocus.
That's it.
Hold on. I gotta search this up. Hocus Pocus.
My Letterboxd review was literally just emojis.
Is it with Bette Midler?
Yes. See, I stand showing my Letterboxd review.
You gave it. I'm not even gonna give this movie an explanation. Instead, it just gets emojis. All I can see is a barfing emoji and stuff.
Oh yeah, I see that. You gave it no stars.
Half star.
Yo.
Because I can't give it nothing.
No way. This is not real. Look at this. Ain't no way. Bruh. Are you kidding me? Wait, can you even see this shit? 91%.
No,
likes this
Google's
film.
stupid. Google's stupid.
Google looks like
users
Google
are dumb.
users. Looks like Google's pretty unreliable.
So, what's your second movie? Because I'm just not even gonna it's enraging me to just think about it now.
Second movie, let's see what else I watched. What else did I watch? Let me find here something else. I mostly rewatched a bunch of movies, but I'm trying
to find a rewatch.
No, I'm trying to find a movie. I'm trying to find a movie that I haven't watched once.
Because I'll probably talk about rewatches too, so there's that.
Oh, I watched the 3:10 to Yuma.
Ooh, I've never heard of that one.
It's with Christian Bale and Russell Crowe.
Now I wonder how I haven't heard of it.
It's a western. Western movies, in my opinion, the most underrated movies ever. Literally almost every western there is, it's really good. And 3:10 to Yuma is really, it's also super good. It's about this guy So Christian Bale plays a rancher in Yuma, Arizona, in Arizona, and and then Russell Crowe plays this guy like Wade something. I think his name was like Ben Wade, and then Christian Bale's just like he's got to take him to the what's called the 310 to Yuma, which is like the train that's gonna send him off to prison. But the thing is, when Christian Bale and his son and some others, they were fighting against the criminals that were trying to catch Russell Crowe's character. Russell Crowe fought with Christian Bale to take down the people that were trying to catch him. It's almost as if Russell Crowe was like willingly letting himself go to prison. That was really interesting as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like that.
So yeah, I would recommend it if you're in the mood for a western. Obviously, you got Django Unchained and stuff, but 310 to Yuma is also really underrated.
Okay, my turn. I want to end with Tenet because I know we've both seen that.
And I will reiterate, westerns are the most underrated movie genre ever.
This is hard. I've seen a lot, but a lot of them are kind of like, do I want to talk about this one? You know what? I'm going to talk about this one. The Unusual Suspects.
Usual Suspects.
Watch that in like August. Isn't
that the one with like Kevin Spacey?
Yes. My review was on Letterboxd, and I quote, "The phenomenal suspenseful film." That was it. Now I'm going to have to go back to me when I was sitting with a broken ankle in the middle of quarantine, waiting for quarantine to be over. How I felt watching this movie, and I can tell you that it was not what I expected. It was slow and it was good. And then it got good at the end.
Yeah.
That's really it.
What's it about?
So basically, it's about these guys who are like police lineups, right? Like they have they collect a whole bunch of people, suspects, and they kind of they say like identify who is the suspect who did whatever to you. Mm-hmm. So essentially, these guys who are kind of like the typical guys who the police round up as the line, they all kind of are in a prison cell, and they're talking about how there's this dude who kind of like tells them to do this heist, right? It's actually a heist movie, right? Mm-hmm. These kind of criminals are doing a heist. It's like an Ocean's movie, except less funny. Mm-hmm. That's actually the perfect way to describe it. Yeah. And then there's a lot of like twists and turns, and I mean it was interesting. I mean it was kind of like, the perfect example. Actually, the perfect way to describe this movie is Oceans meets Zodiac. That's what it was like.
Oceans meets Zodiac. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
That's really what it was. Mm. Hold on. I just realized something. So I just realized Letterboxd has this thing called HQs, which are tier for studios, distributors, festivals, theaters, podcasts, and film-related organizations. Do we count as a podcast? Let's see. Because I want to know. Okay, I have to do research on this because now I'm interested. I'm gonna have to look into this. Anyways, what's your next one?
This is a rewatch. This is my last one. It's I did watch more, but this is gonna be my last one. The Departed.
Ooh, such a good movie.
DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Marky Mark, and the Funky Bunch. As always, it was really good.
Of course, it's just because that movie as a whole is kind of like you know what you're gonna get from it almost, right?
Despite the fact that Matt Damon's character was playing like Jack Nicholson's rat in the Boston Police, like you hate him, you hate Matt Damon's character, but right after, like, you like him again.
Yeah, I mean, It's a good movie. Like
It's very
don't
good, yeah.
remember enough to talk about it more than that, but like I remember it being a good movie, which is at the end of the day the goal when you make a movie.
It was very good, yeah.
Well, the Raptors are winning now. Sorry, I just got the game on the background and just looked at the score and I was like, oh wait, they're winning. Yeah, but I'm assuming I would recommend at least The Departed. Would you?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
And I think the last one, which I think we can both talk about, is Tenet, because we haven't actually reviewed it. That was the thing. That's what it was. Oh, click. Tenet was the review we had to do. The only movie I saw in theaters since Birds of Prey.
Good old Tenet.
What did you think of Tenet? Besides the fact that the theater was very jarring.
All right. This was 100% the best movie of the year. No question about it. No ifs, ands, what's, buts.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait till next week or next podcast when we talk about the
number
year.
one. The idea of time inversion, all that stuff.
Oh, it's genius.
Smart. Like I've never seen that before.
Wait, hold on. First, before we continue, because I'm gonna blurt out spoilers. It's gonna happen. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen it, you can rent it now.
Neil dies at the end.
As usual, after I get the spoiler alert.
Neil dies, boys. Neil dies at the end.
He doesn't. No, it was actually like this. Is the thing. A lot of this. The people who say that time inversion was bad are stupid. Like they're just not intelligent enough to. Because if you stay with it till the end, you understand it. Like by the end, I didn't understand at the beginning. I'm being perfectly honest. It was confusing at the beginning, but that's the point. At the end, though, it makes so much sense and it's super cool, right? Mm-hmm. Like this is the best kind of time travel movie ever because it isn't time travel.
Yeah, it is. And then special effects of making everything inverted, that was really unique. The soundtrack, incredible, especially the soundtrack right at the beginning of the opera house and the truck chasing scene. I love the bass on the truck chase. What else?
It was acted well too.
It really was.
Robert Pattinson was good, and it makes me excited for him as Batman. The Russian mobster was really cool. Or Russian guy was really cool. He was Russian, right?
Yeah, they called him a Russian oligarch.
Oligarch.
It was Kenneth Branagh.
And the other guy, what's his face? John David Washington was cool too.
He was really good in that one.
I'm excited for him to kind of get more. Like, this is the thing, right? He isn't his dad.
His dad is one, like, in terms of performance and delivering, probably the best in Hollywood.
But, like, I think even without his name, I think he'd be a very good actor, and I think he's already in Oscar talks for 2 of his movies this year. Mm-hmm. Trial of Chicago 7 is something else we're going to have to talk about. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh, you have to watch it. Watch it before next week.
Yeah, man.
It's on Netflix. Watch it before we record again, because that's a good movie.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, Tenet, phenomenal. Loved it. Again, maybe it's because I needed a good movie, but either way it would work because it's still my top 5. So I think it's 3. I am gonna have to rant next week though about Wolfwalkers, which is probably one of the best movies I've ever seen before.
Wolfwalkers?
It is this. Yeah, I saw it. So last weekend's Apple TV movie. It is the third. Is it the third movie? Or no, it's the second movie. Hamilton was technically the first movie, even though it wasn't really a movie. It was the first thing to ever get 5 stars in Letterboxd. Never given it anything else before.
Damn.
That's how good it was.
Wow.
Wait, hold on. Did they just lose? Sorry, wait.
The Raptors?
I think they just lost.
If they lose,
They did.
If they really lose, like, San Antonio's up by 1 and there's 37 seconds left in the fourth.
Oh, shoot.
Bro.
Okay. So I'm going to have to watch this one.
Bro, DeMar DeRozan is
Lowry
going
sold.
crazy.
Lowry sold. Lowry just sold.
He has 0 rebounds.
Lowry just sold.
He sold the bag just like Fred VanVleet sold in Game 7 last year.
Yeah, Fred VanVleet sold. Lowry sold.
Let's see. Oh, you're watching the game live? Hold on.
Yeah, I just have it on. Just turn it on. It's
Let's see.
We fouled them, which means we're gonna have to go and we're gonna have to hit a buzzer beater shot to win.
Sorry, y'all. We're just the Raptors. They're just so bad this offseason, and we have to keep track of everything.
They didn't do bad. They just didn't do anything.
They degraded. They got Alex Len, DeAndre Bembry, and Aaron Baines.
Aaron Baines is awful. I was gonna say something, but then I said because we're waiting for Giannis, and then he kind of ditched us.
And then Giannis signs for another 5 years, and
it's okay. We don't need him. We can get free agents next year. It's fine.
I mean, we got Chris Boucher as well.
Chris Boucher is great.
He's not so bad. Yeah, he'll be he's a good center for y'all.
Oh, 3 points. We can tie and send it to overtime. It's okay. We're going to have someone to hit a 3. Okay, come on, OG. Buzzer beater time. Let's go.
I'm watching it on my phone, so it's kind of delayed. God damn it. It's always pausing. For Rudy Gay, remember his Toronto Raptors days?
Oh, good times. Actually, no, they weren't good times. What am I talking about?
DeMar DeRozan, Rudy Gay, Quincy Acey.
Jakob Poeltl.
Aaron Baines.
Oh, yeah, Chris kind of. Okay, you know what we're going to do? Because this is very important. We're going to end the recording so people don't have to listen to us. We're going to sign off now with the recording, and then we can watch this game and see what happens and how this ends. But I don't think people are interested in hearing us. So
yeah,
that is
interested in basketball.
That is all from us. We will be back ideally next week. Maybe we'll be consistent now. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all. Thank you for listening. If you're yada yada subscribing, I'm just trying to do this while they're in the timeout. And while Nick Nurse is drawing up a genius play. To follow, like YouTube videos, follow social media, Letterboxd, all that great stuff. Good. That's it.
All right.
That was very awesome. Maybe I'll re-record and exit after I cry about how we're gonna lose this game. I think that's what I'll do. And then any final words before the Raptors go 2-0-2?
No, I ain't got much.
Okay, cool. That's